No, you're actually right. It's not fully, completely covered in stones. Disregard it or like it. Not too many that it looks like they'll fall off everywhere. Yeah. Ralphie, the other watch that had a naked face was tacky. This one is gorgeous. You're saying the space view? The space view's tacky? I'd say it's nerdy. I'd say it's very nerdy. But it's a generational nerdy thing. So, like, something nerdy for my generation would probably be like wearing a calculator watch, that sort of thing. Whereas, like, boomers, the Accutron space view is their nerdy thing. Beat up screws, yeah. Ikagen, hey. I'm probably going to catch Hell for S's, but what are your opinions about those DIY watches? I ask because they're probably the closest for me to actually fiddling with watches. I don't have any experience with them. As far as I know, they usually use Chinese movements, and it's totally fine. Like, if you just want to have fun with something, go for it. Corvus says they're fine. Fun way to learn a little. Absolutely. Dr. H has diagnosed the patient. Not tacky. Looks a little like Revenge of the Nerds. Lone Mountain Knife Company. Hey, how's it going? Casio calculator watches are fire. To each their own. For me, personally, I had a short stint with calculator watches, but I had a longer stint with this guy. I gotta fish around a little bit. This guy was my jam. And the beauty of it was not a lot of people were aware of them. Especially office workers, That's the guy. Okay, sure. For a little arm, this thing was hanging out there, Might have been a little obvious to some. But man, oh man, we didn't have tablets. We didn't have phones to keep us occupied. Yeah, it seems okay on my wrist and hand combo. But for like a kid, this thing was like, this thing was a beast. God, it was so much fun though. Good, clean fun. Ooh, speaking of showing things off, look at the bulbs on this guy. They are coming out. Remember the other day I showed them to you? They were just dinky little buds. God, that thing never ceases to impress me. Swagasaurus Rex, thank you for the follow. Like that name. Ikogen, ad break took off when you were reading my stuff. Oh. What did I say? Oh, the DIY watches. I don't have any experience with them, but I think for the money they're okay. You won't have to worry about like, damaging something important or anything like that. Don't expect the watch itself to be of like, really good quality or something that's gonna last a long time. Rune, my buddy still rocks his calculator watch from like 1990s. That live streamer Jake and Bake, he still has like a gold, I think it's a calculator watch, or it's the data bank, the data pad one. Much respect. That's pretty sweet. People who wear watches, like, I think for him it was like a sentimental thing, a memory thing, where it reminded him of, times that had passed. Rune says both fun and frustrating. If you buy a kit, it'll work great. Random parts from AliExpress tend to fit. Enough to work, usually with a bit of swearing. Yeah. Disregarded, that thing belongs in a museum. Corvus, so when are you starting your Insta? I have the handle. I probably should just... I'm just going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. Otherwise, I just won't get around to it. I'll just keep procrastinating on it, Personally, my mind is telling me, no Facebook, no Meta, no nothing, none of that, I just have a deep, deep resistance to it. So just push that install button. Ugh. I have that handle that I made years ago. Oh God, I'm actually downloading Instagram. What's become of me? What happened? I think my handle is Little Shop of Horo. Yeah, you're totally right, though. I should, I really should. Like, I keep thinking about it, like, why am I not taking pictures of all the watches I service? Only some, And yeah, it's like, it's just kind of dumb. Like, I just have this resistance to social media, and here I am streaming on one. Yeah, this isn't really social media. This is just a streaming service, but mine too, that model's famous. I think they use a lot for sci-fi fantasy watches. For Alien, they put two of them together on one band. There's also a Ripley watch that is really expensive now. Montoya's Revenge. Did that button say TV VCR? Yes. So if you don't know anything about that watch, the fun about it was it came with a little booklet where it had all the different makes and brands of TVs, VCRs, that sort of thing. And you would, press a few number sequences to program the watch, and then you could literally change the channels and volume with the watch itself. So, yeah. Ralphie, my daughter loved her VTech watch. Honda? Ikagen, aren't those the ones that turn off the TVs in class? Now that I think about it, I don't know if I really used it a whole lot in class. Maybe a couple of times. But where I would like really get the most fun with it was either at friends' houses, at gyms, doctors' offices, dentist offices, different companies, where there was a waiting room. That was always the most fun. You'd just be sitting there waiting, and that TV is just going on and on, like about QVC or something like that. And you're just like, oh my God, this is the worst. Dual overhead cam? Yeah. Had a calculator watch in 1990, but accidentally watched it. I mean, they still make them. You can still go out and buy one. What's that handle? I want to be first? Okay. So much besides watch repair going on here. Could be worse. Could be Twitter. True. Very true. Okay. Installed Instagram. It says Meta at the bottom. Oh God. I don't know if I remember my password. Incorrect password. All right. I'll get to it tonight, and I'll upload a bunch of pictures. I think I gotta go to my old phone and snag a bunch of pictures off my old phone too. You know what I need to do is also add the address down below later. I'm waiting for inserts response because I need to update a few of the things on the page. I see I'm gonna go get verified as Mr. Horror on Twitter. Well, from the sounds of it, they're coming up with a better idea than what they had before. It's like heads of state are gonna be the gray check mark. Gold is gonna be like, I don't know, famous people or something. I forget exactly. And then the blue is gonna be another one. Ralphie, now they leave remotes by the public TVs. Meta on Insta. Yeah, like starting up the program, down below it's like powered by Meta. It's like, come on, dude, I'm trying to hold my lunch down. Don't do that to me. Rune, little note I left you on Discord. Icy can't get much worse. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads up. Mine too, Vacheron, more like Vacherov. All right. Yeah, I appreciate that, Arun. That's like the best way that it's handled. Might seem like common sense to you or I, but a lot of people don't realize that. Keep demagging, but they just keep wanting to stick. There we go. Okay, so right now the calendar is bound up. And I think that's why the watch isn't running. All of this is tight. It's all really tight. And it's probably the broken tooth underneath. Or one of those really bent out of shape ones. Oops. There we go. Oh, hello. Yeah, right down in there. Yep, it's right where that broken tooth was. That's right where that pinion got stuck. So it's not that top quick select. It's that lower calendar clicker. See, there's a gap between the two teeth. And then the pinion that runs down through that brass wheel is actually bound up right on that broken tooth. So once I pull this out, I bet you the watch will start running again. Corvus, what was the old microscope we had on stream? It was a lot cheaper than the new one. It was a Celestron Digital Microscope Pro. My dad is using it on his stream. I would say it's working really great if it was. And the microscope itself works. It's just a computer issue that I need to sort out before I can get it running on his stream again. Drivers, this reminded me to wind up my 1890s pocket watch. Cool. Didn't want to run, but some twisting motion to move the balance wheel back and forth. Got it unstuck. Okay. Depending on the angle, I hear a scraping sound in sync with the ticking when I put my ear on it. It might have a broken balance staff. It legit might be busted. And what I mean by that, we'll probably start working on this at the end of the week. Watch the Fat Cat video. So, if you're just glancing at this, it seems like all's well, right? Looks complete, seems like everything's there. This balance wheel shouldn't be able to do that. Only thing holding it in right now is the top pivot and the balance cock that's in the way. So the scraping noise you might be hearing is the balance assembly rubbing on either the main plate or the balance cock or other little bits and bobs around there. And the reason that it might have taken some shaking to get it started is because one of the pivots is either gone or damaged or something. So I would recommend not running it. Don't let it run. And it might run in this position or it might run in this position, but it's probably going to stop if you turn it on its side. Okay, keep an eye on this balance wheel. Once I lift this calendar wheel up, there you go. Let me grab some water. Okay, I'm gonna run a 60-second ad in order to push the pre-roll back. All right, go stretch, grab some liquids, and I'll be right back. No, is it not running it? There we go, pre-roll, okay. Whoa, it's dark out here. Okay. All right. Nice pocket watch though. It is. Good to know, thanks. The scrape is more on the side. Ah, okay. It might not be a broken staff, it might be a damaged one, it might be maybe the collets are loose. It could be a number of different things. Okay, so we know that this wheel needs to be addressed in one form or another. And I don't think I can put another dial washer in there. It's really this sideways motion that's the problem. How much play there is going side to side. That's what allows these toggles to go underneath. Now the trouble is, how do I shore that up? The top is steel. The wheel itself is a much softer steel. So what I could do is I could close up the diameter. But currently there's little point in doing that without having the replacement part that goes underneath it. So for the time being, we don't do anything with it. I have to get the go-ahead. Have to get the okay. Now, if I knew for certain, like, oh yeah, this customer is going to want it, like, fully functional, then I would have just gone ahead with that. But in the past, they've always opted for the cheaper option. So it just might be that they're like, hey, just so long as it keeps time, that's fine. And it's like, okay, then I have to pull that wheel out so that it doesn't end up causing any conflicts or issues with the timekeeping. Kind of crummy, but you know, if that's what it comes to. Of course, my preferences would differ, but you know, it's not my watch. Okay. Hey Rox, did I run this on the time grapher yet? Yeah. It started out right at 222. No joke. And we got it up to 260s, sometimes 270. So pretty good. And frankly, I think the mainspring's a little tired too. Yeah, let's put that with it. Engine, why not put a root canal tooth in for a missing tooth, cog teeth? A blob of hard solder or even silver solder. It really needs the strength of steel. I certainly could put a steel tooth in there, but there's other teeth that are fatigued. A couple that you just look at them funny and they'll break. If it turns out that they want to spend the money and I'm not able to come up with the wheel, then I'll absolutely do that. Yeah, it's a good point. Sep Junior, hey. Driver's holding the breath. Sounds good, makes sense, yeah. Yeah, no, I was surprised. I didn't think there would be much of a gain at all with the amplitude. Okay, this is a bit crazy what I'm doing right here. I'm taking the time to get this out and put that dial washer back in. Because you never know. I just might run out of dial washers. Oh no. You know, chat, sometimes you just have to acknowledge your own crazy. You know, sometimes you just be honest with yourselves, you know? Okay, so this was the Canon pinion that we tried tightening a few times. Let's just try replacing it and see what happens. Like it ran for a little bit and then quit. Chat, what are some of your moments? When do you get to look into the crazy? My moment is thinking I should do something specific. Part of your brain says, but I'm not going to. You don't know it's right. Do you mean in like a procrastinating way? Because I think that's pretty standard across the board. I'm actually surprised that that minute hand didn't come up with our arcane opinion here. Yeah, sucker's too loose. Do I have an extra cannon pinion lying around? Well, there's one. Hey, Ian. Cool Vizsla shirt. Parking lot sale in your city a few weeks ago? Oh, nice. You want to see the back? Exactly. Well, I don't know. I don't really think procrastinating is crazy. Maybe just lazy, not crazy. Rune, when I'm looking at a piece of software, I need to patch, and it's written so poorly, but consistently poorly. Have to ask yourself, do I do it right, make a big change, or just the dumb change, try to drink away the memory of having done it late? Yeah, okay. I get what you mean. That's something that I would come to terms with quite regularly in this field. It's a trap that I fall into where it's like I want to do the best work that I can do. And that doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. So I was, especially when I was starting out, I was always trying to come to terms with what is enough. Because it's a pretty risky trap to get into with any small business, is, going above and beyond what was needed and asked for. It's like, sure, in certain fields, in certain businesses, if you're just getting started out, if you're just getting the ball rolling, so to say, a lot of times it behooves you to go above and beyond and to do much more than what was asked for. And some ways, not all ways, of course. Because then you get the advertising that comes with that higher quality of work. You get that word of mouth to jumpstart your business. But, you know, it's like wanting to polish every pivot and, you know, chase through all the different jewel holes and make sure that everything is just perfection. It doesn't pay. Like it's not a winning business model. It's a model of failure. Ralphie, Crazies Daily. They can do everything. College and work. Yeah, that is something that I kind of get stuck up on, is like, you know, thinking about your day. And you're like, oh, okay, I want to do this, 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 this. Like, I could totally do that. That's totally manageable. Perfect. Easy peasy. And then, of course, you know, you plan it out under the assumption that everything just goes smooth. You know, everything just goes exactly the way that you envision it. But the reality is you just can't. Like, it doesn't work like that. Ralphie M plus family, church, friends, college, work, drinking healthy energy drinks to go, sleeping pills at night. Oh yeah, I can see. Like it all just gets very overwhelming. Engine electroshock is faster and cheaper. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that. We'll just call it bars. What's up, bars? Truth, that's what made me close my scale model business down. It's going for perfection all the time, and then it bit you in the end. Plus, the resin printers got very popular, so there was little to no need for small metal parts. Oh, okay. Mecca, you can't afford perfection if there's a mortgage to pay. If you got bills, if you're trying to feed, you know, hungry mouths, yeah, no. Unfortunately, perfection doesn't pay, yeah. Mind you, I am a research engineer, and it drives me crazy is people with PhDs asking for things that literally can't be done. Okay. I think there's probably pages and pages of XKCDs about either the PhD talking to the engineer or, like, you know, the corporate overlord talking to the engineer. I just imagine there's a whole slew of those. Occasionally I would get some customers where they would just be like, hey, can you do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and that? I'd be like, yeah. But can you pay for all of that? It's like, you want me to make you a watch? Okay. I'm going to have to shut my doors down for a year. And you got to foot the bill for everything in the meantime. And also give me a down payment. this one's been tightened as well. Bars are working semiconductor field now. Couldn't agree more. You can fix it in software, don't worry. Drivers, funny thing, seeing the resistor in the watch when they can make them a lot smaller now. Yeah. Yeah, ain't that the truth? So all of these circuit boards go to 214s. And none of these components look the same. Except for what looks like maybe a capacitor. These two are 2-wire, this is a 3-wire. Maybe too many people think that because you can make something, you can make it for next to nothing, like custom furniture or fitted clothing. Why do your bookcases cost more than I can buy them for at IKEA? Yeah, that's a good point. You know what I realized? It might be that center wheel. I think that center wheel has a slip clutch in it. Let's test it. Interestingly enough, the cannon pinion replacement on the other one worked, but timing still needs to be adjusted for timing. So this one's consistently moving. Alright, what do I do with my Accutron tester? Did I put it in the drawer? Which drawer is the question? Ah, yes. You know, just like I said, sometimes you gotta acknowledge your own crazy. Other times you gotta acknowledge your own good habits. Ikagen, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. Do Prime subs still give you an ad-free experience? Or did they get rid of that as well? God, that's dumb. Ralphie, is the music on? I can't hear it. It's just turned down. How about there? That's a little better, huh? Okay, let's make sure I still have feeling in my butt. Okay. Hadn't heard of McMaster. I think they still have a catalog that's like, it's like a beast. Greatest thing about McMaster is tied directly into FedEx New Jersey sort facility. Pay for ground service, get delivery next morning. Oh, nice. Corvus Prime subs are 100% full subs. Oh, okay, that's good to know. I was gonna say, like, what would be the point if you know, can't have an ad-free experience? Just looked up info on the Accutron. Coils vibrated tuning fork, interesting, right? So that's what you're seeing up here. That stone is pushing that wheel, and that stone is just sort of holding it to prevent it from freewheeling. But yeah, the vibration of the tuning fork is pushing that stone. Okay. So we're running along. What I need to see is that minute hand moving. I think it's moving. They still do have a catalog, and it'll stop a hot 9mm round. I'm seeing movement. There's enough movement there, chat. Now, how's our timing? Somebody have their digital stopwatch on the ready? My hands are occupied, otherwise I would do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, my hands are occupied. No stretching. Not allowed. There's the 30-second mark. Right there. Might be a little fast. Minute hand's moving, that's all we needed though, really. Three, two, one, mark. So, what I wanted to get into a little bit was this book. And of course they've got the bulletin, the updated bulletins. It's for authorized watch inspectors. April 5th, 1966. Made out by one K.I. Dunlap, if that's his real name. Oh, getting carried away here. 3, 2, 1, mark. Drivers that might be useful for building robots. Never knew where to get stuff to build with. Arun awful close to a tasteless shirt? Why? What's it say? Does it look like a specific logo or something like that? Tracker 5937. Wow. Slightly slow, huh? 3, 2, 1, mark. I think master is pretty much everything, but shipping costs are going to add up fast if you don't plan carefully, get everything in one order. Yeah. Arun, authorized watch inspector. Oh, not my shirt. Yes, the AWI, authorized watch inspectors, wearing their fiber-proof jackets. Cleaning, procedures for reassembly, information and hints for the Accutron repairman. That's not very PC. 3, 2, 1, mark. I mean, the copyright for this is 1960. So, yeah. Procedures for testing, how to check power cell, how to open case and remove movement, regulation, checking electronic circuit, how to expose indexing mechanism inspection and adjustment, checking the train for freedom. I don't know about you, chat. I feel like my chain has freedom. Three, two, one, mark. I think, like this one I haven't, did I make an adjustment to this last time? I think since I serviced it, I haven't had to make an adjustment to it. All right, let's go to regulation. God, look at this blue. Actually, this probably isn't the best. Like, how cool is this? Oh, thanks, Tracker. So yeah, I think this watch is pretty close. Like, how cool is the font and the color and even the illustrations? I mean, come on. This is pretty legit. 2 seconds faster. See, I knew that these ones, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I knew that these little fingers, what this illustration is pointing to is right at these coils right here. There's little micro adjusters for making very small adjustments in frequency. They've got these articulating U-shaped little thingamabobs. And what you can do is, say the watch is, I don't know, 10 seconds slow per day, you can move these forward to change the frequency because you're shifting weight on the tuning fork itself. And by shifting weight out towards the top of the watch, you're going to be slowing it down. And by shifting it forward towards the middle of the watch, you're going to be speeding it up. So you're physically changing the frequency by doing that. But those are essentially micro adjustments. Sometimes you're hours off per day. And in order to make those sorts of adjustments, here we go. Yeah, in order to make those sorts of adjustments, you're gonna have to be messing with this guy, which is the breaking pawl. So this screw is an eccentric cam. It's not even threaded in place. This one is a bit of a locking screw. Same with this one. This one, it's got some leeway though. Like the hole itself has got some room. But what one would need to do in order to make an adjustment is you gotta kind of loosen these up just a bit, and then you would turn this a bit. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna make this stop jewel, this one right here, it's going to adjust the depth that it's coming in and out. Basically, it's at rest. So it's there to just engage and hold. And by doing that, you're changing the amount of tension and friction on it. Yeah, it's called a pawl finger. P-A-W-L. Kind of like a parking pawl. So when you shift your car into park, there's a physical piece of metal that comes out to hold the transmission in place. And that's what this pawl jewel is doing. You got to check for engagement of the index jewel. If it's not engaged, rotate pawl bridge cam until pawl is brought into contact with wheel. And here what it's showing is that the jewel itself, can I show that? The jewel itself needs to be perpendicular to the wheel. Perfect 90 degrees. I think it was it was the other one where this jewel, specifically the pawl jewel, wasn't flat, but it was shifted a little bit. So what I did was I replaced that part, and then I, got a pawl that was actually in plane. Tried making adjustments to the old one, and I was like, you know what, this one's just, somebody had really tweaked and messed with it a lot, so I just wanted to reduce that, just diminish that variable entirely. And then it ran pretty good. But I still need to adjust timing on that. Okay. Index jewel. Before the index jewel pulls away from the wheel, the jewel should drop off 5 to 8 teeth. If the number of teeth is smaller than 5 or greater than 8, the engagement can be modified by gently pressing the index finger near the end where it is pinned, toward or away from the wheel, using the ends of the tweezers. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy that it's actually in the book like this. Okay, so this is what it was describing. Right. So the index jewel at rest, and then when you pull, literally what they were showing, what they were asking, is that you've got to pull the coil away. I'm not going to do it while it's running, but you pull that coil towards the middle, not the coil itself, not the green, not the red, but the tuning fork. You pull it this way, and what you should see is that separation. So you pull it away, and there should be 5 to 8 teeth in between there. Interesting. God, look at all these illustrations. And then the owner wrote a little bit in the margins. How sharp are those? It's like service manuals nowadays. Like you might get some color-coded things. God, what a gem this is. Interesting. So what they wrote in the margin there, we've got how to remove hands and dial train. Step 1, remove ground strap so movement can be placed in holder. 2, remove 2 dial holding nuts. And then 3 is what they wrote, remove the sweep second jewel mounting. You know, I don't think I would do that before removing the hands. Maybe that's what they liked. They like to get this in the movement holder, you know, remove that center jewel, and then when they pull the hands, they want to have that shaft drop out. I'm not too familiar with dropping things, so, you know. I just personally don't think that's a good idea. See here, they're telling you to remove it here. Many steps past where he wanted it done. He's talking about removing this jewel, which is going to free up the second hand shaft. Here they're telling you to use pegwood to push down on it. That's kind of cool. Oiling, assembly procedures. Okay, he crossed off this area where it's saying to replace that center second chatting. He's like, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. I'd be kind of interested to get one of their movement holders. Okay, tuning fork screws. I wonder if they tell you to really tighten those down. No, they don't have any. They don't tell you. Sometimes I've found that those are loose, or that the previous service person didn't tighten them down. And it's a tuning fork. By definition, it vibrates a lot. Hand still moving, hand is still moving. Okay. I think we're good on this. So we can adjust the timing on the other one, I think. Moving on. Hey DK, oh man, we got service manuals out. Like adjusting the weight on a metronome. Gotta love mid-century design. Close to a teal blue. Yeah, yeah. What madman invented this watch? Bob. It's always Bob. Bluesy, hey, that seems a bit of a hit or a miss affair. Yeah, I could see that. Talking about the dropping the thing out. I think they had suggestions sent in and then had a vote. Manuals like this, when the bean counters are kept out of decision. Mecha Funky Vice. Pond Scum, hey, thanks for the follow. You talking about this one? This thing's a beast. It's as heavy as it looks, too. I think that's why I love it. Engine, wait a sec, 5 to 8 teeth, as in the index wheel speed depends on the fork amplitude. It was a test procedure to see if the limits for the engagement for the index pawl are appropriate for it. So at rest, it wanted the pawl to be engaged with the wheel, and then you would pull this towards the center, and basically also keep an eye on the index wheel, like the specific tooth it was on, which, truth be told, I don't know how you're going to do that. They're hard enough to see with high magnification. Like here, look. We're as magnified as we can be on this. Can you see those teeth? Oh, there they are. I can see them now. So, yeah, I mean, you're not going to be seeing that with a loop, is what I'm saying. But the index wheel speed, I've found, is far more dependent on this guy. You start to make adjustments to the pawl finger. It's essentially a brake. It's like a wheel brake. So you start to make adjustments to that, and what happens is you push it this way a little bit, and you see that wheel just start going and going and going and like crazy. And that's where you end up with watches that are hours fast per day. Okay, should we case this back up? I think it's ready for prime time. Tracker should be like YouTube mechanics who tight to the hand, tight and click. Oh, I think I see what you mean. As they're tightening it by hand. Oops. All right. No more power. Oh my God. Can't believe I got Instagram. Okay. Wow, I stopped it right at 12. Totally intended. It's a drag break. It's a good way of putting it. Wait a second. This guy first. Like that. Now this one is so easy to get it in and out, and that's the way it should be. The other one, not so much. I'm just gonna give this a once over. Let's see what the voltage is on that. Just 'cause. It's right at 1.5, and it should, if it was fresh, it'd be at 1.55. So that gives me somewhat of an indication as to how much life is left. I think I hear it. Yep, that's a great sign. You always want to hear your Accutron. If you don't hear your Accutron, you might be in the market for a new circuit board, or at least a new battery. We'll just say new battery. We don't want to assume the worst, right? Okay, we'll set it and forget it. $702. That's where I'm from. All right. I'm actually looking forward to getting these back to him. DK, TikTok's next? Oh, God. No. Having a hard enough time keeping my dad off of it. Oh, you're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. It's another horse-sized pill I need to force down. Let's put this in here. But I guess I've got to do it. If you want to do it right, you got to go big, right? Or something like that. Or go home. Watch cleavage. 1.21 gigawatts. TikTok really sounds like perfect platform for a watchmaker. Watchmaker with ADD. I don't know what I'm doing with this just yet. I think maybe I just set it and see where we're at. I know the timing is off, but I'm not sure which way. It sounds high-pitched. Maybe it's running fast. It probably is running fast. 705. Okay. Taking note of it with a quartz watch. Missed opportunity. Well, ultimately, I need to focus on what the goal is and not my own hangups. We all have this talent of getting in our own way. So sometimes you just gotta get out of your own way. Okay, it's fast, isn't it? I think that was a second fast. Ralphie's still nerd tacky? It's boomer nerd, for sure. Yeah, I think it is fast. Hey, Balloon Knot. Hey, Triple T. Welcome. Yep, another second fast. Okay, let's slow her down. Easy enough. Or does 15 to 30 second watch repair vids for TikTok? I don't know if I would do repair videos. I think I would probably just do like cool like microscope cam things. I don't know. What do you guys think? Varun, this seems like it would be easy with a video camera and movie editing program. Tracker 5794. Username checks out. All right, so getting this sucker out is really half the battle. I've done it a few times now, so I have a pretty decent idea. Just gotta go a little at a time. A little here, a little there. So I think I'd be disturbed if you did a TikTok with repairing a watch. Maybe a highly cut video. Yeah, I don't know about repairing a watch. But I think maybe like interesting like microscope shots might be cool. Insta keeps giving me this Chinese watch repair reel, which is like smashed to fixed in 30 seconds. Not really compelling. Pretty, but not compelling. DK lip sync music videos while repairing watch. Yeah. I mean, let's be real. I think I might have to shake my assets. It's the TikTok way, isn't it? Okay, let's see. How's it doing? I think this side is high. Show business. Okay, actually I think that's enough. Yeah. Let's test this one too while we're at it. Tracker could do head polishing techniques. Yeah, this one's at 152, so a little bit down as well. Celtic, I'm going to ask you a effed up question. You're working on removing basically the entire electronic movement. What do you tell a customer if that goes wrong? Has that ever been a thing? No, not really. There was a couple of times where I nicked a coil, and you just be very transparent and upfront. You don't try to hide anything. You just let them know, like, hey, look, I nicked the coil. I'm gonna have to replace the movement. It's really not a big deal. Nine times out of 10, being very upfront and open is always going to be the best policy. If your goal is to instill a good working relationship with a customer, direct communication is essential. None of the wishy-washy, like, well, there's already an element of mistrust when it comes to service industry. And I think it's pretty well justified. Think about just how many times you've taken in something for service or repair, or even just, gone out to a restaurant or, went shopping, anything like that. Think about how many times you've been lied to. Where it's just like, very directly in your face, you're like, wow, that person just lied to me. Fantastic. That feels great, So for me, the way I chose to operate the business was treat people the way you want to be treated. And I think that's a very universal and unanimously acceptable position. Although some people really like to be yelled at. And, hey, if that's your kink, more power to you. But just realize that you are a minority. A lot of times I had heard from customers like, man, this guy just yelled at me for asking a question. It's like, wow. I'm really sorry that happened. That sucks. It's like, yeah, I didn't know what I did. I just asked the question and he just lost it. Okay, I think I might need to go a little more, but before I do, 3, 2, 1. Not really more than removing a mainboard from a laptop. More delicate. Truth Messenger, I can't stand dishonest people. Another appropriate username. Especially when they know that they can help, but act or choose not to help someone out. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Or when they know that they deliberately made the mistake. And they're like, oh, the new guy, you know what I mean? Stupid new guy. Mark. That was 2 seconds fast, I believe. Let's go again. Celtic, that's really awesome, and I agree. I did it, or you already did it. Best comms, yeah. If I had to bring it to you, I already had an issue. Might not be everything I got billed for, but the ones who actually just own their stuff. Well, what you just said is totally golden rule. Totally respect. Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I value my sleep more than I value a $2 movement, you know? Like this one, it's really common to slip and nick that coil. This isn't the easiest one to do it with, but you know, this is just the first thing I pulled out. Now, frankly, it is rare. Oops, I missed my mark. It's really rare. What was far more common was somebody coming to me saying like, hey, this jewelry store, such and such, I went in for a battery change and they said it wasn't the battery. And, you know, sure enough, I go in and look and I see that the coil had been nicked. And then I ask them, you know, like, was it running before you brought it to them? And they said, yes. I'm like, well, they damaged it. You should take it back and be like, hey, look, you guys damaged this. Are you gonna make good? Are you actually gonna like honor the mistake that you made? Mark. Okay, that might have been right on. Let's go another 60 seconds. Like, that was really common. Scary common. And some of our jewelry store clients, they would bring us watches that they damaged. Sometimes knowingly, sometimes not, you know, and you know, more often than not, they would, you know, honor it. They would pay for it themselves. They would take the responsibility. There was one in particular I remember where it was like, ooh, Mark, you guys, okay, that looked dead on. Yeah, there was a couple of times where it was like, you're in the hundreds of dollars now. You went to change a $10 battery or make a $10 battery change. What were you thinking? What the heck? Yeah. I had replaced hundreds of movements that it was just operator error where they had slipped with a tool and damaged the movement. At least a couple hundred. No joke. Three, two, one, mark. Okay, that thing's dead on. What if my adjustment did it? I think what I do at this point is put it back in the case, let it run overnight, check it in the morning. At that point, it might be, you know, 10 seconds off, and then at that point, I can use those adjusters up top to make the final adjustment. Hey, QQ, I recently heard the golden rule is good, but you should treat people the way they want to be treated, which in my mind lacks a way of measure what is reasonable. Yeah, I mean, we're not mind readers, though. If it's somebody you know, then that's a different story. Mark. Yeah, that's dead on. If it's somebody you know, that's a completely different story. But if it's just a random stranger, you can't just make assumptions like, oh, you know, I'm sure this person wants me to be a jerk today to them. Or, you know, it's really just putting your best foot forward. And when it comes down to it, you know, it's like, knowing their likes and dislikes isn't part of your job. It just isn't. I mean, unless they tell you explicitly for whatever reason, assuming it has anything to do with your job. Something that I always would struggle with is when people would come in, Mark, and they would be really upset, you know? That was always something that I had a sensitivity to because I'm empathic. That's just it. So I was always thinking, well, maybe I should do X, Y, and Z, and maybe they won't be upset. But there were times where it's just like, no, that's not my problem. That's their own bag. So it was always something that I had to remain present to. Was that like, everybody's got their own issues that they're dealing with day to day. And none of that has anything to do with me, really. Three, two, one, mark. Yeah, this thing is on the second. So let's see if it stays that way overnight. You know, mind you, I've been in this business since I was a little guy. Would always be going to the shop, you know, and either messing around with machines and tools or, you know, into my teens, actually start helping and doing stuff and working. And I'm 37 now, and let me tell you, just about seen it all. Like, legit. So yeah, it just sort of got to the point where it was just like, really can't let that stuff bother me. Oh, hang on. Okay. Just making sure I pressed unmute. Hey stranger, F you. Imagine that. You wouldn't believe it, man. You wouldn't believe it. Some customers were just so brutal. And honestly, anybody who has worked in a service industry really gets that. What I always like really enjoyed was remembering the customers that had been coming for a long time, you know, and slowly seeing a shift in their personality over that period of time. I had a couple of customers that when they first started coming to us were very suspicious, very on guard, very no nonsense, very direct and stern. Sometimes to the point of, you know, just being like, man, what, you know, what flew up their skirt today? You know, it was just like, they seemed very, you know, very untrusting. But then slowly, you know, seeing the years go by, doing so much for them over time, you know, providing a service for them. And really seeing like this soft, tender underbelly, like towards the end. There were some customers that 10 years prior were incredibly salty. To the point of like, you're just like, man, should I even be doing anything for them? Like, is this going to get me in trouble? Like, is this going to bite me? And then to the end, you know, when you're packing stuff up and getting ready to move, and they're in tears. They're like, what are we going to do without you? Who do we go to? Nobody else can do what you guys do. You always fix the stuff the other people would break. Let me blow my nose. I'll be right back. $10 issue now, $10,000 issue. Well, there was one where it was, you know, a $10 battery replacement, and we had to replace a $500 movement.